Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to Basement Quality Banter, episode 65, and happy International IPA Day, Caesar.
Evening, fellas. How you going?
IPA
Hello.
tastic. Do you have a beverage?
I do. I do. A friend of mine dropped this beer off to me, so I thought I'd try it. It's New England Brewing Co. West Coast Heavy Duty 7.2%.
Ooh,
Nice.
very nice. From
Mm.
Urala.
Mm.
And good evening, Angus. Do you have a beverage?
I do. I actually drank all my Urala IPAs a month ago, so I went and grabbed. Ooh, what am I doing that way? Grabbed a
Ah, fantastic.
Glass
Glasshouse
Coast.
West Coast.
Ah. Well, I
Home before it's
also have the heavy duty West Coast IPA 7.2% from New England Brewing Co. And the fact that they said they've added New Zealand Cascade hop oil is shining through.
Yeah, it is a ripper, that beer.
80 IBUs, really well balanced, very nice. Well done to New England Brewing Co. Let's get into. Oh, first off, how's your glass house?
It's good. It's a little bit tastes a little bit smoky or something. There's something going on.
Yeah, nice.
There's something unusual about it.
Oh, unusual, nice, different.
Yeah, it's a bit different.
So last weekend saw the latest edition of the Eaton Hills Hotel Brisbane Beer Fest. I wasn't there, however, a lot of people I knew were. Apparently numbers were down, however, those who attended said it was a great event. Owned by the Kaminsky Group, the hotel covers a huge area with accommodation and a shopping centre, and last year they got permission to controversially grow bigger over some endangered wetlands. Having everything in one place with the overarching licenses has meant that it's a few steps easier to hold events like this. And I've had friends who have gone to concerts and stayed at their motel. I don't know, it's about 10, 12 stories high. And they even met the band members who were performing, who were also put up in the motel.
On that, I saw a post from the owner of that pub group.
Yes.
And they were talking also not specifically about the beer festival, but about they're having a fight with TAB.
Yeah.
And basically they're like, oh, we don't want them in there. So they're all turned off. They're being cut off.
Yep.
And they reckon they haven't noticed any difference, which is really, really good news. That's good.
Yeah. So TAB have argued that they've invested 150K into their business. And the Kaminsky's have done the maths, and they said that accounts to 0.002% of turnover. So that means the actual TAB turnover, the actual bets placed, is in the hundreds of millions for their group. They've made the fact that they've turned them off, and they're investing into dartboards and pool tables, but the actual patronage has gone down. A lot of people have said that people are betting on their phones, which sort of makes sense, so they don't get the commission. Apparently they're owed 139 grand or something. And there's a couple of other hotels who have also pulled the pin on TAB. Basically similar to Keno, I think it's a leading loss. It's about having it there. I know when I was at the RSL in Harvey Bay, you have to buy the pencils and the stationery off Keno, and they're the only ones you're allowed to get, and then you pay the commissions, and it's a leading loss a lot of the time. But
not
we
for
have
Keno.
No, but we have such a problem with gambling in this country. Every corner pub doesn't need a casino-like room open till 4 a.m. Something that WA and I think Taz can show us that it can happen, and we can be fine without gambling to have in all of our local pubs.
100%.
My next one was Soapbox Beer is turning into the Fortitude Valley Beer Hall on September 26th, with 6 breweries doing their own fest beer, and then also doing a specialty German beer, so 12 beers. food, music, beer. It should be a real treat for all who attend. I might actually visit this one instead of the German club this year for a change. It looks like it'll be really fun at Soapbox. And
they got an Oompa band on.
Oh, well, that's the most important thing.
That's a big loss if they don't have that on.
Well, yeah, the fact that their head brewer was in Munich last year and he wants to bring a bit of that to Soapbox, I think it'll be a pretty decent effort, to be sure. And I saw this really interesting post from Matthew Hoskin regarding Southeast Queensland Water adjusting the pH in the supply. I'd heard whispers about a year ago. However, it is set to start in like a week. To quote Matthew, Southeast Queensland water changes are finally coming into effect. pH has been raised from 7.8 to 8.4. I have been told it is to facilitate the switch from water treatment with chlorine to chloramine. The latter is far more water stable and harder to remove. And apparently you have to triple the size of your carbon filter to get rid of residence time and remove them from the water. Other issues is the water will be buffered with more salts to maintain the higher pH. A lot of people commercial brewers are thinking they might need a smaller reverse osmosis system to cut out the brewing. It sounds like it's happening pretty quickly. And I would say even home brewers would probably have to look at their water chemistry a bit. If that is the case, that's a significant jump, 7.8 to 8.4, to change the way that they're dosing Southeast Queensland water. I know when I was brewing on the Gold Coast, whenever the school holidays were around, the chlorine would go up significantly because of all the theme parks loading up in the chlorine. The Hinds Dam would load it up for all the theme parks. And I know that we'd have issues that you'd have to adjust your water chemistry whenever there were school holidays for that sort of stuff, which you'd be measuring pretty regularly, but this might mean that a lot of breweries will have to change their recipes or add some more salts.
Yeah, a couple of things. The pH scale is not a linear measuring scale, so it's logarithmic. So that means it changes tenfold. So that's a significant increase.
It's huge,
from almost neutral water to basic water. So yeah, there's going to be a whole bunch of breweries doing a whole lot of water analysis and tweaking every single recipe they have once that comes into play.
Yeah.
And the other point is I was recently looking at a reverse osmosis system to put in my new place, because I don't actually do any water chemistry yet, but it's been something that's kind of been on my mind. And I saw this article today as well. I'm like, oh well, I guess that tears it. Like I've gotten away with not treating my water up until now, but I think that's gonna force my hand.
You can test it pretty easy to see what your water is, and then adjust it. A lot of the beer recipes will tell you, quantity and how to adjust it with whatever scale you have coming in. And then the commercial places will most of the time they'll actually get them sent off for testing regularly. But it used to be, I don't know, maybe once every quarter or once every 6 months. But it might have to be a bit more.
So I mean, I'm not huge up. I definitely don't brew real well at all. What is it going to be easy in the end? Or is it still a bit of a challenge for some people?
You just need to know what the levels are in the water and adjust your mash ingredients accordingly. So I guess in this case, you're going to be looking at adding some form of acid to your mash, or depending on the beer style, a crap ton of acidulated malt. But yeah, you're going to have to add some acid to bring that back down to the relevant pH ranges for the mash and the eventual beer as well.
Yeah, and if you've got filters for your water coming in, it just means by the sound of it, you're going to be tearing through your carbon filters and your other filters a lot quicker by the sound of it. or you'd have to upgrade them or put more in to either load up on the filters to get the result you want, or that plus your additional ingredients to get a good water chemistry. There's going to be a real balance there, depending. And people who've brewed in southeast Queensland, it can vary quite a lot. So I'm not sure about too many other areas like the Sunshine Coast or even interstate, how the water's affected.
Yeah, well, I do know that Queensland's the only state, I'm pretty sure, 90% certain, that state government doesn't dictate that you need to treat your water or not treat your water and chlorinate your water. So I think it comes down to the council. So across Queensland, it's definitely going to be different. I know that much.
Okay.
So it's Southeast Queensland, South Queensland. So it'll just depend on, Fraser Coast and North Queensland, what happens with them.
Yeah, I thought fluoride was something that was council. I didn't know about chlorine, but
I think the whole lot of the water itself has been given over to the councils.
The councils. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
And Angus, you had a really interesting story about Asahi.
Yeah, I've got a positive news story, which kind of feels weird talking about. So Asahi have helped expand the Victorian barley growers to Japanese markets. So Riordan Grain is a leading Australian agriculture business that helps manage the Victorian barley program. And this program sees the management of over 150 barley growers in Victoria and southern New South Wales, providing contract management, logistics, and high quality barley to Asahi. And that's a bit of a good thing for the Victorian barley farmers. They provided 25,000 tons of barley as raw ingredients for Asahi beers, including VB and Carlton Draft, and that amount of barley equates to more than 300 million litres of beer.
Whoa!
So yeah, that's a fair whack of beer, and obviously that's kind of an important ingredient source for Asahi. And they've started helping those growers tap into the Japanese markets with around 35,000 tons of barley shipped overseas. So we want about Asahi and the big boys, and they deserve most of it, but this feels like a bit of a positive story. A stronger relationship between farmers and their market gives them confidence to go out and invest in new machinery, tractors, perhaps focus solely on barley production, and gives them a stable known market for their produce. My only thought is that I just hope Asahi aren't screwing the farmers like some other Australian hyper mega conglomerates, screwing the wholesalers into the dust. Coles, Woolworths.
Cough. Yeah, look, we do shit on the Japanese-owned brewers a bit here, because a lot of money goes back overseas. However, they do employ a lot of people, not as many as the smaller independents, but they've got to get their ingredients in Australia as well for most of it. And yeah, barley farmers, hop farmers, they've got to get that stuff. So, like you said, hopefully they're not screwing them over, and hope there's sustainable things in place. But like you said, it might be a good story.
It's my positive big boy story for the month.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think we've got to maybe we've got to be the ABC. We've got to balance out our shit posting to our positive posting, perhaps. And you've got a story about Tribe as well.
Yeah, it's another interesting one. Tribe Breweries has officially become a certified B Corporation. So I was reading a beerandbrewer.com article about Tribe achieving this new certification, and it led me to wonder, what the hell is certified B Corporation? And I'll do some reading of my notes here. So B Lab started with an idea in 2006 about corporations adhering to principles that were more geared towards how you treat staff, the environment, communities, and not just for benefits for your shareholders. So companies are audited against the B Lab standards, a set of standards that range across climate action, human rights, environmental impact, and a bunch of other things. And they're routinely audited every 3 years to make sure they're still maintaining the principles that gave them certification in the first place. I think where this is kind of valuable for beer is that making beer is very water intensive and very energy intensive. Both resources that are very short supply in certain areas around the world. So that seems like a positive step of kind of adhering to some worldwide standards. So these B Labs have they're across 102 countries in the world where they have these certified B corporations. And I think it's a bit of a brave step from Tribe to choose to adhere to these standards and gain the certification and retain it. While I was reading, there's some interesting industries that are excluded from certification: fossil fuel, gambling, pornography, prisons and detention centers, tobacco, and weapons. And any company that generates more than 1% of their revenue dealing with the above-mentioned industries are also ineligible. I think it's a little bit interesting that alcohol is not an excluded industry, given that tobacco is an excluded industry. So I don't know if we're getting away with something there, but that was interesting.
When I was at Sober, we were in the process of becoming B Corp certified, and it's intense, and it's a 6 month to a year process to be fully audited, and it's expensive too to be able to use that trademark. I know Young Henry's, Brick Lane, Stone and Wood, and even though Lion has bought Lion and then Kieran has bought Stone and Wood, Stone and Wood as a standalone company is still able to be B Corp sort of certified, even if the parent isn't, which I thought was quite interesting. By keeping it as a separate company, it still has that. And there are a few other breweries, and like you said, considering how water and energy intensive brewing is, you have to be proof that you're sustainable. You're using alternative energy. But then there's the human resources part. What are you doing to be, hiring Indigenous people? What are you doing to be diverse, with your hiring policies? And it's a really all-encompassing. I think even Four Pines might be B Corp as well. But it's all about, being a good corporate entity. And if you see that B Corp logo on a product, you know that they've gone through significant leap, stages to get that certification. And I actually think it's one of the ones that, even more than carbon neutral and things like that, I think it's really one that you can trust, because you can't buy it. You have to earn it.
Yeah.
And I think you've really got to be committed to the cause, because, like you said, it's pretty onerous. Like some of the things that you've got to sign off on,
they're huge.
Huge expense, huge commitment, huge knowledge, huge amount of knowledge and research you'd have to do.
Yeah,
it's not something to do on a whim just to get some certificate.
Well, on the fly, fact check. Four Pines is B Corp certified since 2017.
Yeah, and I think they do another one. It's like Four Pines also does, like, I think is it 1% for the planet? It's 1% of all their income goes to charities for the planet.
There's actually 3 others. So there's 1% for the planet.
Yeah.
There's tree planting. So there's 444,444 trees with Landcare Australia, planting all them. Shrubs, ground covers, and grasses until 2024. It says till 2020 each year till 2025. Well, it's past, but I'm guessing that. And then they've got a lot of like solar and spent grain, diverting it away from landfill and stuff like that. Electric vehicles in their fleet.
Yeah,
they really are doing what they can, which is really good to see.
And again, that's owned by one of the evil Japanese companies. So that's another positive story for what. Hang on, is this sponsored tonight? Like, what's going on? But
Woo!
We hit our quota for the quarter.
But yeah,
Unbelievable.
good story. B Corp, love it.
Yeah.
Get behind it. Well done to Tribe and anyone else who has achieved that. And Felons.
Yeah, whilst Felons opened their Manly Wharf venue last October, they very recently announced a deal with the Manly Fast Ferry to sell their beer on board. So this obviously continues their focus of improving the Manly Wharf precinct, and the Artemis Group, who are the company that developed Howard Street Wharves. So they continue applying their blueprint on the Manly Wharf precinct with high-end restaurants and planning on including retail developments. So I suppose the benefit of printing money in Brisbane gives you the ability to spend money in Sydney. And well done to them. It's a massive venue. It's really well done. I've never been there once where it hasn't been absolutely packed to the eyeballs. So they're doing a lot of things right.
I had lunch there with the head brewer a couple of months ago, and he said the initial fit out, just the initial fit out of the Howard Smith Wharves was $200 million.
Of the whole venue, not just Felons, like the whole thing.
No, but that was just the initial bit, and it has grown, and they've put a ferry terminal, and they've put the 5-star hotel, and that was just the initial. It was $200 million. So look, they have spent a squillion, and now I think they need return on that, and you will not find. Like you said, you'll never find that place empty. It's just a great atmosphere. Yes, it's not cheap, but you can't beat it for venue.
Yep.
And I'd say Manly would be set up the same. And Caesar, your beer news.
Yeah, I got a little bit here. So first things I found this week, Cascade Brewery have launched a mid-strength version of their flagship draft. Tapping into to the growing demand for a low alcohol option across Australia. So new Cascade mid-strength 3.5% brewed in South Hobart, which is really good. So mainly specifically at the moment for the Tasmanian market. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully can get offshore. But then in the same breath, we also have the Tasmanian government has announced the arrival of Beer Tasmania. So a collaboration with independent breweries and Hospitality Tasmania. And basically it's following the Lions decision to close the Bogue Brewery. And effectively Beer Tasmania will have $1 million from Lion of grant money returned to them.
Yep.
And so the Premier has announced $240,000 of those funds will go directly into the IBAs and Hospitality Tasmania to launch Beer Tasmania. And they're looking at backing local independent indies like Drew Kane and Little Rivers with a brand new Northern Beer Trail and Regional Beer Fest to keep Tassie brewery jobs alive.
Yeah,
really
I think that's all really positive.
Mm.
I think if you're a member of the IBA, you'd really enjoy knowing that there's some money coming into the coffers, and for an event, and also for like a beer trail and the support for Tassie. I would question if other members in other states are going, can we have something the same? But I'm not going to fight Beer Tasmania, and I'm happy that money's going back into something that supports indie beer in Tasmania. Yeah,
100%. So all good.
And you were talking a really fun story that we do every 6 months about CPI.
Yeah, so the ABC's picked up on the CPI again. They run a bit of an article on it. Basically, they've asked the question, with the CPI excise system being introduced back in 1983, the tax now accounts for almost 50% of a mid-strength and 60% of a full-strength beer, a pint of beer at the pub. So with high costs, it's choking pub culture and live music venues. Basically, they're saying like a lot of people are choosing to not go because it just costs too much. With a third of spaces disappearing, you can see that it's definitely having pressure on them. And they're basically what they've suggested is that if we scrapped or froze the tax for 5 years, which I think they tried to do recently but didn't do it for long, it would be hopefully relieve the pressure and could be really good for the entertainment economy. So we'll see. We'll have to see. They reckon, looking at there's a little graph in that article, and they're basically saying, so 2024, 2025, tobacco was 7,700 in excise. Spirits are 3,300, and then beer is $2,700 million. And then basically by the time it gets to 2029, tobacco will be back to 2,100, and then spirits is very similar at 3,300, and beer keeps going up with the 3,100 million. So 100 million, 1,000 million. Maybe it's a million. Sorry, I apologize. It's 3,100.
Real-time mental maths.
No, yeah. It's almost looks like almost a billion actually. I think the way they've written it, because it's dumb, because it's written in millions, but they're using 3,000. So 3,100, which is I think is $3 billion ahead. So $1 billion ahead of tobacco by 2029, which is crazy. The fact that the excise is basically, as tobacco dies off, they're trying to keep that money coming through using alcohol.
Yeah, we've beaten this horse a lot. And it keeps resurrecting itself every 6 months. Yeah, it's at some point it's the government has to look at it and stop the increase. Like, it's just crazy amounts of tax on products.
Yeah, I think spirits are even worse than beer. And yeah, it's how many? It's like 93 consecutive rises or something like that.
It's a lot.
Third highest tax. There's stories now of bootlegging spirits landing in the country, just like the cigarettes. It's draconian. I don't think it's smart. I don't think it encourages responsible alcohol, other than the fact that we have the largest mid-strength beer industry in the world as a result. I think we still can do a lot better.
Definitely, need to do something. Otherwise, we're really just, going to sit at home or, people will, like I said, I've seen it. I work with younger kids, people of, that 18 to 26-year-old market, and they are definitely, like moving towards drugs and stuff like that, and things that are other than that when they go out.
Yeah, I think some people are buying a bag instead of a 6-pack now. Yeah. And on another nice story though, you had Warrandyte Brewery gets the green light.
Yeah, I thought, look, let's highlight some smaller places and some wins. So one of the wins that came up to Warrandyte Brewing has been given the green light after many, many years. I think it's nearly 3 years of fighting the council with floodway regulations, and along the Yarra Valley, they have a heritage building and the community and all that sort of stuff. they've been given the green light by the VCAT to have their tap room on Yarra Street, which is fantastic. So apparently they're aiming to open doors in 2027. And David Ryan, one of the owners, says he can tell you everything there is to know about the water flow on the Yarra River and where the catchments are and the controls and stuff like that. He's kind of something of an expert now. He's had jumped through so many hoops to make this happen.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's a good story. And I think that brings us to.
I'm doing my part.
Favorites.
A little bit of
Ooh.
support for BH.
Come on, tell me what it's like. Is it as good as it used to be?
I know it's not.
Did you get it from a big shop?
No, I got it from Monty Ale House. So it's I don't know. I assume it's an independent bottle shop.
Celebrations, yeah, little indie shop.
Celebrations, yeah, okay.
Yep.
Oh, that's good. That might mean it's a little bit fresher. They've been sitting in a warehouse as long.
I remember when Toshi was there, they did Mega Hornet for the first time. That was amazing.
Oh, off the tap, so good.
I'm sure I've told this story before, but my in-laws used to have a holiday unit at Burley, and so probably a year after Black Hops first opened, we were on holidays down there. So I would like lob across the road at 5:30, have a couple of beers at Black Hops, and got talking to Govs and Eddie and Dan and those guys. And I was across one night, and Govs was like, "You like IPAs?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "I'm at the back." So I went at the back and had Hornet off the tank.
Yeah.
He gave me a growler to take home.
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
And you know,
and
that's what I loved. That's what I loved Black Ops for. That was brilliant. Angus around the world.
Angus around the world. Right. I've got to scroll back up because I'm gonna make an absolute dick of myself here. Willkommen bei euch mit Angus die Welt.
Oh, the Welt. Sehr gut.
And now Entschuldigung an alle Deutschsprachigen.
Yeah.
And now I also have to apologize in English for attempting to apologize in German for my attempt at saying welcome to Around the World with Angus in German.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
So, sure, I absolutely ruined that.
Bitteschön.
Given Germany has so much beer history, I thought I'd skip the actual country's history, and obviously some of that needs to be skipped. For the older people amongst us, I've got a mental image of Basil Fawlty muttering, "Don't mention the war." So let's move on to some quick German beer facts. Germany produces over 5,000 varieties of beer across approximately 1,300 breweries. So 5,000 varieties of beer. How in the hell is that possible?
Yep.
Local.
No.
Local.
Very local.
Yeah. No. I don't even know 1,300 varieties, let alone 5,000. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the birthplace of the Pilsner, and that style still makes up around 50% of German beer consumption, with Helles taking second place with around 12% of all German beer consumption. Weihenstephanen has operated continuously since 10,040, making it one of the oldest breweries in the world. And Germany, embarrassingly, now languishes in third place in per capita beer consumption at around 88 liters per person per year. So that's around 207 schooners per year, or half a schooner a day.
Interesting.
Which is still a lot.
That's not bad.
So, is it Czechia and China the top two?
Yeah, Czechia and Austria are in first and second.
Oh, Austria. Okay.
Yep. I don't have the stats on them. But now I'm going to narrow in on my favorite part of German beer history, the Reinheitsgebot. So some people will know the theory behind this. Way back in 1516, Duke William IV of Bavaria signed a decree that only 3 ingredients were allowed in the brewing process: water, hops, and barley. Reinheitsgebot roughly translates as the purity decree, with some historians stating the phrasing makes it sound like a divine commandment, showing the level of appreciation and strict regard Germans have for proper beer. What were some of the reasons for the purity decree being instated in a time when any ingredient could be added to beer for better or sometimes spectacularly worse? Old Duke Willie decided to preserve the quality and integrity of Bavarian beer. It was also a way of controlling prices, as the price can only be in a certain range given that all brewers were using the same ingredients. And the third reason was to restrict the use of wheat and rye in beer production so it could be available for bakers. And in the 1800s, Louis Pasteur discovered the existence of yeast and its integral part in the brewing and fermentation process. And this forced its addition into the Reinheitsgebot, as obviously yeast was unknown in 1516. And that is us in Germany.
Very, very good. Yeah. They didn't know that like the mash paddle had yeast from previous brews for thousands of years. Yeah.
Shows you what powerful little buggers they are. If that's the amount of yeast that can survive on a paddle and then ferment an entire vat of beer.
Well, our friends at
buggers.
Future Magic actually named one of their beers after what they called the Magic Stick. And that was where that name came from, because in the brewery there was a magic stick, and technically it was encrusted with yeast, and it lived on. So love that. Very good. And
just doing a quick search. Yeah, a Kvike ring. So Kvike ring, I don't know if you guys know about Kvike yeast, but it's a traditional Scandinavian yeast.
Yeah.
And so the way that they I guess manage their yeast is they have a Kvike ring. Kind of looks like a circle of vertebrae.
Okay.
And so they dip that into the beer and they get the yeast on that and then dry it off, and that's their yeast culture for the next batch. And so they maintain these Kvike rings.
Like a house yeast.
Yeah, so it just shows what tough buggers they are. You just dip a circle of wood into your beer and capture the yeast for your next batch.
Worth noting too, if you ever listen to one of Joss's beer tours, and she also talks about the fact just there's so much wild yeast floating around in the air, you get that as well. So you get a lot of your farmhouses and stuff come from just having it, leaving it open to the elements, open the barn door, so to speak.
Yeah, cool ships and everything. Yeah. And Caesar, do you have a Guess the Brewery and 10-ish questions candidate?
I do. I do.
I'll let you go first, Angus.
Is it an Australian brewery?
Yes.
What state are we talking?
Queensland.
Did they start up in the last 2 years?
Not the last 2 years.
Are they known?
Last 8 or 9, so to speak.
Are they known for a particular beer or style?
Not really, no. No, not really.
None of these answers help.
No. Maybe try and get the region.
Are they a brewery that the region, all right. Are they in southeast Queensland?
No, they're not.
Are they in the Sunshine Coast?
No, they're not.
Are they on the coast?
No. Well, hang on. They are on They're on the Fraser Coast. Not, but I'm assuming you're talking the Gold Coast. We'll speed things up a little.
Well, I meant like the coast of Queensland. Like, are they?
Yeah. Yes.
Fraser Coast. So Cauldron.
No.
Nice one. Who?
You might know or have known the previous head brewer quite well.
The Fraser Coast.
He's not talking about who we were talking about the last couple of weeks, is he?
What's the? That's Stratty Brewing, isn't there?
No, that's not Fraser Coast.
Stratty
Yeah.
South. Fraser Coast is pretty much Bagara down to Tin Can Bay.
No, it's north. It goes north too. Goes all the way to Fraser Island.
Yeah, that covers that spot I just had.
Yeah, but it's not just Bagara. It goes north of Bagara as well.
Which is where the brewery is. The brewery is north of Bagara.
Yes.
So 1770?
No, higher.
No, Fraser Coast isn't that high.
Is it?
No.
Ah, okay. That's on me then.
I'm
just going off where the Fraser Island sort of. Oh yeah, it's all right. It's in that central Queensland sort of coast. Anyway, sorry. I apologise.
So is that as high as Rockhampton, Cairns?
It's not as high as Cairns.
Too high.
not near Yeppoon, is it?
It's close. It's in that hour drive.
What's the region?
Let's say basically it's Yeppoon or Rocky. Let's go there. Let's keep it low.
So there's like Auckland House. Yep.
Not one of those.
The Great Northern Brewery. It's the beer from up there, isn't it?
You mean the beer from Yatla?
Yeah. Well, they changed it. They changed the slogan. It's the beer for up here now, not the beer from up there. Yeah. I don't know who else is up there. Maybe Gladstone. There's a brewery that I can't think of.
Are we going to kick ourselves when you tell us the answer?
It's Bathy and Rocky. Can you get the brewer at least?
Alex?
Yep.
Mr. Torbert?
Yeah. Yes, that's the one, Alex. So Hendricks Lane Brewing.
Oh, so they had Hendricks Lane and Auckland House were the same company.
Yeah, the two, yeah.
So I picked one. I didn't get the other one.
Yeah, you're close. I was like, there.
Torbs, if you're listening, you're a dead set legend, and I love you. Caesar, I don't love you. That was shit.
I'm just trying to share the love around a bit. So I really do have respect for Alex, and so I thought, look, we'll give him a heads up that way. I know, from what I understand, he's not brewing anymore, but
I think he does some stuff. But Torbs is, I think he's the highest certified BJC judge in Australia. Oh, he got the high score in there. But he does. He judges at homebrew comps and professional comps. He is just an absolute dead set legend. And if people don't know, he's the one who took a pH meter to the German club. To measure the final pH of some Hefeweizen. So this is 100% beer nerd that we love, and he's an excellent brewer. And I think that would only took us 20 guesses to get at one of the breweries that he used to.
There was a lot of half, maybe it's here. Look, I wasn't necessarily say that all of them were necessarily guesses.
I tell you what, if you think that Rocky is on the Fraser Coast, you need a new
I
Glen
do, don't I?
prescription.
I was like, oh, Fraser Island goes that high, doesn't it?
You've never driven to Rocky.
No. Gary just goes out and probably doesn't go past. Yeah, it doesn't even go up to Bagara. Yeah.
I apologise. I thought it was the other way around.
No, it's all good.
Tabs is a legend. I've had many a fucking massive dive into the Rabbit Warrens, beer conversation with him. He was on his heifer fights and Rampage. I think it was maybe 2 years ago, and he and I had like a 2-hour conversation after the beer awards at one of the pubs, talking about pH levels and ingredients, and he's a great dude. I love walking to a room and seeing Tobes there.
Yeah,
because I know I'm going to have a real technical conversation.
Yeah. One of the best people in the industry, and if you don't know him, that is your loss. I think that is all of our beer news. Yep. So sport will be quick. Sport, the 6 Again comp this week is the Indigenous round, which I love. However, I love the limited edition strips. They often get other artists to do the uniforms, or Indigenous players in the teams to do the uniforms, or anyone else involved with the clubs. I still reckon it should be held either in Reconciliation Week or NAIDOC Week. It seems a bit odd that it's, at the beginning of August, doesn't sort of fall into everything, but I still really, really enjoy it. And sometimes some of the games, they go out to regional areas too, which I really like too. So that is 6 Again comp. AFL, Caesar.
So for the Lions, we have a big game at the Gabba tomorrow night against Hawthorn. We'll be sold out for sure. Foundation clubs always are. Zorko's coming back, Gardner's back. One of the young blokes, Dan Amble's getting his second go at it after having recovered from a shoulder injury. Had a couple out. Had a huge loss last week, which sucked so much. They should have beaten. They shouldn't have done so badly against Carlton, but oh well, is what it is. But the big news this week is that 5 of the players of the young Lions were named in the AFL Players Association 22 under 22 squad. So, which is really good news to them. So, all of them are pretty much mainstays in the main team, which is fantastic to see. So, when you got 18 on it, 23 on it with the bench, 5 out of 17, 18 teams is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And while rugby is in a holding pattern, what's happening later this month?
Rugby is still in a hiatus. I think just allowing everyone to recover a little bit from the July madness. All Blacks are pretty sure they've touched down in South Africa. And so they're doing I can't remember how many years it is, but their first full long tour of South Africa in a bunch of years. So that's going to be massive. And I'm geared up for that. That will be some massive games there. And Australia are gearing up to play Japan later this month as well. Japan have been laying big smackdown scores on Canada, Fiji, and I've forgotten the other team. Tonga.
USA? Yep.
Tonga, USA, and Canada. So absolutely proving why they're ranked 10th in the world. So Australia's going to have to be on their game to get some wins against Japan. They do not know the meaning of surrender. The Japanese, they'll play to the 87th minute.
Yeah.
So we'll have to be on our game to beat those guys.
That's got to be a boost for South Africa having the All Blacks there too, doesn't it?
Oh, they're like South Africans. I think I've told the story when I toured New Zealand for school rugby and just getting towed up by some old lady in Rotorua. So New Zealand is just mad about rugby.
Yeah.
And South Africa are right there with them. So like all I've seen is just positive stuff about the All Blacks touring. Yeah. I think the whole country's geared up for it. It's just gonna be a real good atmosphere. Both teams are going to be competitive. It's going to be hard rugby. It's absolutely ferocious, but it's going to be high-skilled rugby, and it's well worth watching.
Yeah, something to really look forward to.
It's good to see.
I think that has us all for this week. Thank you for joining us on Basement Quality Banter episode 65. Jump onto our Facebook page. You can listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or you can look at our ugly mugs on YouTube. And we will see everyone or hear from everyone next week. Thank you, Caesar. Thank you, Angus.
Thanks, boys.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
Adios, everyone, and cheers. And happy IPA Day.
Happy IPA Day.
Happy double IPA Day.
Ooh.
So nice you to celebrate twice.